ChatGPT architectures like ChatGPT and build. So they're backbone of ChatGPT, GPT, and all. They use attention mechanisms to process sequences efficiently. So how you are responding, it's based on that. It will just respond to you. And diffusion models are most image generation systems, slowly adding and removing noise to create realistic pictures or even molecular structures. So those are the diffusion models. So next one is GANs. GANs is like generative adversarial networks. It is work by having two network compete each other. So let's say like you have two, and one creates and the other one judges until the output looks realistic. So that is the GAN. And variational auto encoders. So learn compressed versions of data and can generate new variations from those. So from the compressed data. Yeah. So we don't need to remember all these technical details, but the key takeaway is that different tasks call for different tools, and together they enable this wide range of applications for us and Gen Right. So we'll see in scientific research how generative AI is used now. Yeah. So generative AI for scientific research, it's not just a tool. It's no longer doing your usual routine tasks in science. So AI is becoming a partner in discovery in science area. Yeah. It's becoming a partner. So it can suggest a new hypothesis, suggesting regions based on the pattern existing literature that humans might overlook. And literature analysis, it's like it can read thousands of research papers and find connections humans might miss, identify the trends and gaps there in the literature analysis. Experimental design, it proposed better experimental designs, and even it predicts which variables are worth testing in experimental designs. And research acceleration, compressing research timelines from years to months. What used to take years of trial and error can often be shortened to months. Imagine having a research assistant who never gets tired, who has read every paper in your field and brainstorm with you. That is the role generative AI is starting to play for scientists. So that's on scientific research. We'll see on the drugs, generative AI in drug discovery. So it's one of the most promising applications because so any drug discovery, right, it is a slow and expensive project. During COVID, right? So new vaccinations used to take so much time. And usually developing a
మొబైల్స్
medicine
లారా
can
మబ్బు
take up to
సిస్టమ్స్లో
10
కాదు
to 15
మొబైల్స్
years.
కొన్ని చూడకుండా ఉంటే డేటా మిగులుతుంది
For
లేదు
any other medicine, yeah. So they need more trials, they need to test on the animals. So that will cost billions of dollars for any organization. So
నేను వాట్సాప్ పెట్టాను చూడు
design entirely
నాకు
new
దీంట్లో
molecules,
ఒక
and
రికార్డింగ్
can
పెట్టాను
predict how they'll interact with
ఆన్
proteins
చేసి
in the body,
మా
and
లాగిన్
even
చేసి
anticipate possible
కెమెరా
side effects.
తర్వాత మైక్ ఆఫ్ చేసేసి
No need
మీ
to,
పనులు
I
మీరు
mean, we can
చేసేసుకోండి
test, we need to test, but no need aggressive testing on animals or anything. It can just anticipate possible side effects, what side effects it could cause. It can also figure out whether a drug is likely to cross the blood-brain barrier. So it will check that also, which is essential for treating brain-related diseases. This overall it will dramatically speeds up the process and lowers cost, which means so more and significantly reducing the 2.6 billion average cost of
వాయిస్ ఎవరికి
drug in
వినపడకూడదు
the market.
జాగ్రత్త
So currently the drug
మ్యూట్లో
is
పెట్టేసి మీ
taking
పనులు
10
మీరు
to 15
చేసేసుకోండి
years, but yeah,
సో
with
మళ్ళీ
Gen AI
ఒకసారి
we can just bring
4
that
సెషన్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది
2
అప్పుడు
months.
గ్రూప్లో పెడతాను
Yeah.
ఇప్పుడు ఒక 15 నిమిషాలు
So I have one case study here. So I designed drug molecules. So it's an a concrete, and one powerful example is from a company called Insilo Medicine. In 2019,
ఉన్నారు
used generative AI to design a new drug candidate for fibrosis.
బాగా చేసేవాళ్ళు
So normally, this would take
మా
2 to 3 years.
నేను
Usual
వాయిస్
bill like
సప్లై అవుతుంది
testing and
ఇప్పుడు అందరు
everything what
లాగిన్
we
అవ్వండి
discussed in our
మ్యూట్లో
previous
పెట్టి
slide,
కెమెరా
like how
మ్యూట్లో
they'll
పెట్టేసి
test and all. So,
వాయిస్
but the
కూడా
main
మ్యూట్లో
is
పెట్టేసి
to get this just in 46 days. AI identified a new target, design molecules for it, and the
హౌస్ఫుల్
scientists were
పెట్టుకో
able to
లాగిన్
test
అంటే
and
ఆఫ్
validate them
చేసుకో
quickly.
విజిత వచ్చింది
So
చరణ్ వచ్చాను
this
ఎవరు రాలా
represents one of the first real-world
యాక్సెప్టెన్స్
application
వచ్చిందా
of Gen AI in drug
వద్దులే
discovery,
వద్దులే
and this showed that the
రాజగోపాల్
world
సార్
that
వచ్చేసి
AI could actually
సౌండ్
drive
ఏం వద్దులే
real progress in medicine. So
నీ
it's
పని
not
నువ్వు
just in
చేసుకో
theory, but in practice, what AI did in the um, drug molecules area. Yep. Moving on to next slide, generative AI in material science. So in material science as well, materials research usually take decades. Like it will take long time, 10 to 3 years. But it's another area where it's being transformed with Gen AI. So let's say novel materials discovery. So with AI, scientists can explore millions of potential alloys or composites and materials, nanomaterials with desired
ఇప్పుడు లాగిన్
properties
కదా
and far
100
more
మెంబర్స్
than humans
చూసుకోవాలి
could
సార్
manually
100
design.
మెంబర్స్
So that's
అందుకే మీ
what AI
పిల్లలు
is doing there. And
పెట్టేసి
property prediction,
మీతో పెట్టేసి మీ పని మీరు చేసుకోవాలి
property
నేను స్క్రీన్ షాట్
description, predicting
తీసుకుంటాను
important properties like strength or
సరే లాగిన్
conductivity
అయ్యేవా
or heat resistance of a material. They yeah, don't need to waste time and money making
మెసేజ్
samples
పడుతుంది
that
వరకు
won't work.
పెట్టేసి
Just
మెసేజ్
they can
పెట్టేసేయండి
analyze from the
లాగిన్ అయితే మీ
patterns
పని
like
మీరు
what can
చేసేసుకోండి
work for their requirement. So that's a property description. In cost and time savings, usually it takes decades to move from an idea for a new material to something that can be used in industry. So the R&D, research and development cycle, typically take 10 to
అది వాటిలో
20 years
పర్సెంటేజ్
from
పంపించేసేమ్మా
concept
పంపించినాను
they
లాగిన్
think,
అయితే
and
కుదరదు
that thing
కౌంట్ అనేది
touches to
పెరుగుతుంది
2 years, 2 to 5 years. And cost also, it is reducing 70% of cost. That's good. Right. We'll talk about synthetic biology, generative AI and synthetic biology. In biology, AI is helping scientists design entirely new proteins and that's novel proteins and enzymes. So with custom functions like including enzymes that catalyze reactions not found in the nature, so that don't exist in the nature currently. Yeah, that's what AI is doing there. You can also create optimized DNA or RNA sequences for usage in vaccine therapies and industrial applications. So that is also started. And biological circuits, AI can design gen networks that act like biological circuits inside cells. So these advances open doors in medicine and agriculture, food production, and energy, like better access to new biofuels, to synthetic foods. In many ways, it is like programming life itself with AI as a code designer. Applications. So we'll talk about like where it's being used in industrial applications, in engineering kind of. Yep. So generative design in engineering. In engineering, it's like Gen AI is like a super designer. Like we will just give the requirements. For example, so you want to build some material, and you just need to provide what you need to use and what is your budget or the required strength of the material, and it generates thousands of possible designs which you can create. So it's our choice basically. So what you want to create from the provided information. So it then optimize those designs for weight, durability, cost, and sustainability. So engineers don't lose the control. Like it's not going to take over all our engineers' work. What they're doing, they get to review and select the best designs from whatever we got from the generative AI. So it's like instead of starting from scratch, they're choosing from a options. So this, so this is a
లాగిన్ నువ్వు
picture.
ముందు చూపాలి ఏడున్నారు
This is already being used. Gen AI.
నువ్వు కూడా ఎవరైనా లాగిన్
So
వాట్సాప్
next slide, I have one
లాగిన్ ఒక
case study.
పెట్టేసేయమంటారా
So generative design in aerospace. So this is also one of the great example comes from the Airbus. So they worked, they patterned with Autodesk to reimagine aircraft partition designs. So partition is like a wall inside the airplanes, right? Like so the age generated design ended up being 45% lighter than the traditional designs what usually will do without AI involvement. So that one change alone saved around 465,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions annually when implemented across their flights. So this is like good example like how we are gonna help the climate or their nature also. So this was like even small design improvements when scaled up to large, like so aviation industry is big, right? So if you know like we can save some with this AI product when it's scaled up to the full industry, it can have a massive environmental and economical impact on with AI. So we'll talk about generative